Joseph Quinn and Lupita Nyong'o are very hot, very attractive individuals. Welcome back, everybody. Today, we are talking about the recent but very critically acclaimed A Quiet Place Day 1 2024, directed by Michael Sarnowski. And for someone new to the game, boy did he come out swinging. Well, this film follows Sam, a cancer patient who witnesses the beginning of the Quiet Place universe as the Death Angels. Yeah, I didn't know they were called Death Angels too. Saw it in an interview that Lupita didn't know that they were called that. I don't think anybody knew what they were called that. We just, they're just monsters. They're just aliens, who hate sound. And alongside her is Eric, a British ex-law major who helps her get to Harlem because she just wants a slice of pizza. Yeah, it's an interesting plot. We'll get to that though, and amidst the middle of an alien attack, of course. But more on the pizza stuff in a bit. And this film is just as amazing as everybody says it is. They came out swinging, and wow, was this a home run. Sam does actually just want a pizza slice from Harlem. I thought it was a joke at first. I thought there was something deeper, and there is something deeper, but it's related to the pizza. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Now, why Harlem? Well, that's because she just wants to enjoy life one last time, and Eric is the perfect person to do that. But of course, I cannot go any further without talking about nitpicks, criticisms, and things that I just didn't like about the film. And to be honest, there's not much of them. My biggest complaint was more of a technical issue, and I'm not sure if other theaters had this, specifically of my theater. At least some scenes were a little too quiet, so scenes where they would whisper, it was really hard to make out what they were saying because there was no subtitles, which is something that they probably should have done, especially considering how, yeah, even though it's called A Quiet Place Day 1, obviously you're going to have a lot of silent stuff. They juxtapose it with a lot of like explosions and super loud sounds, and so some scenes are either way too quiet or either way too loud. I mean, for example, most of the film I thought Eric was named Aaron until the credits rolled and it says Eric. Yeah, what can you do about it? On top of that, I'm not sure if this is everybody's cup of tea when it comes to this Quiet Place franchise. See, while the other two films are more focused on the conceptual aspect of the story and the thriller stuff, this story favors the characters and their own personal stories, which is not to say that's a bad thing. Like I said, it's just not everybody's cup of tea. But with that being said, that's exactly what worked about the film. And this brings up an interesting point aspect about conceptual based movies and the way we as viewers watch certain movies because of said concept, and how their sequels have to kind of adapt to that and change it depending on how the concept is shown. When a film does something interesting conceptually, their sequel has to change up that gimmick or that concept in order to keep the viewer engaged, because if you do the same thing over and over again, it's going to get repetitive and it's going to get boring. And some of the best films are able to pivot from this, while some of the worst films can't. A bad example of a film that didn't pivot to this was Independence Day, which obviously the first film is a big blockbuster action, alien drama, whatever, right? And the sequel tried to do exactly that and literally try to be just as good as the first film, and failed miserably because the times are different. Everybody kind of knew what to expect. It didn't do anything interesting, and as a result, the movie sucked. Now, a film that does this pivot exceptionally well is the Alien franchise. Obviously, the first Alien movie is more horror based, but the second one dives more into the action and lore aspect of the Alien franchise, and it did it well. Obviously, like I said, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Like I said, while the other Quiet Place movies focus more on the concept, and more specifically John Krasinski's family and that whole area. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy those films quite a bit. It seems kind of like I'm kind of dogging on them right now, but trust me, I really like those films a lot. I'm excited for the third one, and I just want to see Emily just kick some Death Angel ass. But in terms of the story itself and the concept, obviously that film is already set in this world. It's set in the post-apocalypse that is this world. But this film was really interesting in that we see how the apocalypse came to be about, and why and how things are the way they are. And of course, I can't go any further without talking about the star-studded leads that are Lupita and Joseph, because boy, do they kill it. Lupita gave another beautiful job at playing. I don't know why I wrote this in the script. Gave another beautiful job at playing this dying woman. Has she played a dying woman before? She gave a beautiful job at playing this dying woman. This film is essentially her at the end of her life, seeing the world be at the end of their life. And that dynamic is so interesting because she is so incredibly frustrated at the beginning of the film. But by the end of the film, she's found this newfound joy of life and fulfillment that she wanted the whole time, but she wasn't sure if she was going to make it. The whole story with her and the pizza is incredibly sad. Even though the world is ending and even before the world started ending, she just wanted to go to Harlem to get some pizza because that was the restaurant that her and her father used to go to when he was alive. And then later in the film, it's revealed that he also died of cancer, which makes that storyline just that much more saddening. Her body is essentially a time bomb, and after the apocalypse goes, she makes a pit stop at her apartment where she has to get some medicine, and she's run out of medicine, and then Eric has to go get some more for her. So I think she knows that she was never going to survive this whole journey, especially in a world where now it's just a matter of survival, and she needs certain medications and things to keep her alive. And this constantly keeps the viewer on edge because you're not sure what's going to happen to her. I won't lie, there was a part of the film about halfway through where Eric was just talking to her and she was lying there and he had just gotten her medicine, and I genuinely thought she was going to die. I thought that was the end of her character, and I was emotionally prepared for it, and I was going to be like, well, Eric's the main character now, it's his story, let's go for it. I'm telling you, I was ready. I'm glad it wasn't the end because it leads to eventually we get some more beautiful scenes, and wow, her whole story is just saddening. It's truly heartbreaking, and Lupita just gives the performance of a lifetime with it. Obviously, she couldn't find this new profound joy without her partner in crime, Mr. Eric, aka Joseph. Eric is a sweet and charismatic guy. After seeing Sam's cat just wander around, he begins to follow the cat, which eventually leads to her and him following her. And while you're initially confused as to why he's actually following her, I interpret it as when he saw her, he knew that she was going to die, and he joined her to give her one last peace of mind in life. Joseph gave an empathetic and compassionate aspect to his character, and seeing him interact with Sam was something really beautiful. It was something so special. To me, it was almost like a guardian angel type of character, and maybe one could interpret it as that, as he was kind of there just to protect her, and the universe had to pull them together in order for her to complete her story. I think the personification of this is that there's a scene at the end of the film where they make it to the pizza place that Sam's wanting to get to, and it's burned down, and she's obviously distraught, and so they go to this bar that her and her dad used to go to, and while they're there, she's obviously just drinking her sorrow away, and he goes out and he finds another pizza shop that's relatively okay, so he steals one of their boxes, he writes the logo from the other place on there, and he surprises her, and then they pretend to do this whole show on top of the stage where he has some cards and he does some magic tricks for her, and it's a very sweet and sentimental scene, and you see her smile for the first time in the film and enjoy herself, and you can feel the pain essentially ease out of her in this scene, because throughout the film she gives this very realistic interpretation of cancer and what that does to the psyche, especially considering that she's all alone from what we understand. And so seeing her have this joyful moment with her and Eric was a very beautiful and sweet thing. Frodo the cat, oh my god, I have a love-hate relationship with this cat. He brings the two characters together, but he also gets them in trouble a lot. He's the link between them and somehow always knows what they need. Obviously with a little bit of plot armor, but still, he's here for the ride, and I loved every bit of him. And what a great actor that the cat is. I was surprised at how well the cat did certain things and what that process was like. And I'm so glad that the cat survived at the end. And let me just talk about the ending, because the ending is so bittersweet in the best way possible. I think we knew, by that point, we knew that Sam was gonna go, she was gonna pass away, and so we kind of accepted that fact. And I'm glad though that she went out on her own terms. I thought they were gonna pull A Quiet Place 1 ending where she was gonna scream, all the death angels were gonna go to her, and then Joseph Quinn's character was just gonna run away. But no, she just starts breaking some cars. They start chasing her. Eventually he makes some noise. They start chasing him, and he's got to make it to this boat where the surviving humans are because the death angels can't swim. And so he jumps right in the nick of time with the cat, and she leaves him a note saying to take care of the cat, you know, also thanking him for everything he did. And then she goes back to her apartment. She's walking down the street and she's talking about how peaceful it is. She's got her earbuds in, she's listening to some music, and then she takes the earbuds out, blasts that speaker. You know where this is going. Okay, now I feel like I focus on the characters a lot, but that's pretty much what this film is about. Like I said, this is very different than the other Quiet Place movies. This one is much more intimate and tight-knit, and it's about these small characters in a big world. And that's not to say that the film is interesting besides them. I mean, trust me, the cinematography of this film is superb. It is beautiful and has some of the best use of the wide-angle lens. The use of wide shots in this film really shows you the scale of this world and this city and how small these characters are, and it allows for the characters to witness the destruction that is this alien invasion around them. But like I said, the story is truly what carries the character. It is a great drama all in all, and you don't need to see the other ones to enjoy this one. I think this film is great as is. But overall, that was A Quiet Place Day 1, and like I said, it's a great film through and through. It's an incredibly heartbreaking and heartwarming drama about 2 characters trying to survive this oncoming apocalypse and looking for some last joy in life, and that of Sam. But do yourself a favor and check out this film. It's not streaming anywhere. It's still in theaters. So if you have the chance to, please go watch it. Please go watch it. And when you go, make sure you don't sit next to a group of very loud teenagers, because it's fucking annoying, dude. They just kept laughing the whole time. And as per usual, thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch me talk about these 2 oddly attractive actors. Until next time, see you, Space Cowboys. This is not going to be my final setup. I know if you've watched my videos, you know that my setups have been very inconsistent lately. I promise I'll get a real setup soon. I've just been moving around, and there's a lot of stuff's been happening. We'll have something firm soon.